Well, g'day people. Today we're going to have a look at a hilariously bad detour put together by Main Roads. So let's go to their travel planning website and we can see up at your Warwick station, they've got two lots of roadworks along the principal shared path. The top one, it's going on until mid-March. Okay, that's all good. And we can click here to find out more about it. And then there's another one, which is actually seems to be joined up, which finishes this Friday. And again, we can click on find out more to find out more about these. Now, here's the hilarious thing. If we click on the top one, it gives us this map, which goes down here to Aronsay Road and then, whoops, disappears off the map. So if we are heading south from Joondalup and we want to get to the city and we get to here, it's like, guys, where do we go now? What you actually have to do, and if you want to try this on your phone, bring up this site on your phone and then click on these things and then click on find out more and have a look at the size of the maps and imagine what it's like if you're standing on the side of the road up here somewhere wanting to know where to navigate through and you get this first silly map like this on a tiny little screen, and then you've got to go back here and look for this icon and click on that find out more, which then tells you, which then kind of cuts in around here somewhere, and it tells you you got to go down to Warwick Road, turn right, cross at the lights, turn left, down to Mallock Place, Hawker Avenue, and then you're back on the principal shared path. Wouldn't it have been a lot simpler to have done what I've just done here? Just join the two maps up into a single map. So, if you're coming, or if you're going north, coming south, whatever, look at that. It's just a single route that you can follow quite sensibly. It just boggles the mind why they decided to do this as two maps when clearly the whole thing is closed off by two projects. Okay, they're two separate projects. I get that. And one of them's going to finish before the other. Yeah, I get that. But if you're going to do that, why not have a single map for the two projects? And then on the Friday, when one of these things, these projects finishes, and the detour is going to change, well, you know what? You change this map. Instead of the path being closed from, crikey, where was it? Where's so it's the bottom part that's, oh, hang on, let's just check this again. Yeah, so it's the bottom section, which is going to be closed off until this weekend. So what I would do is I'd simply publish a new map, which would say, okay, only this section of the path is going to be closed off, and delete this bit here, because what you'd be able to do is you'd be able to ride up the principal shared path, get off at Chewett Road, and then just duck around that easy little detour and continue on your way. Instead of this stupid thing that they've come up with, don't know who did it, maybe the work experience kids or something, but this is not a very user-friendly situation. Now, if we have a look at this Strava heat map, you can see that the top end of the detour seems to be fairly well used. People are getting off the path here, going across Kilrenny Crescent as they should be, and they're finding their way down to Warwick Road without too many issues. And that's what happened to us as well. But what you'd then expect to see is a path coming down here, getting onto Hawker Avenue, so then people could rejoin the PSP, but you can see there's absolutely nothing there. There's zero traffic. And what does seem to be happening is there's some traffic going up here and then coming down this way. Now, why is that happening? Well, let's look at the hilariously bad detour that we took. So we found the top bit not too bad because there was actually signage telling us where to go. And we got down to this point here and there was zero signage that we could see on this corner. So we did the obvious thing and headed towards the freeway, expecting to see some signage around the light somewhere that would tell us where to go. And what we should have done is just follow that blue line. What did we do? Well, we went up here like a lot of other people have done, crossed over at the lights, and then blundered around over here trying to find a way back to where we should have gone. Now, of course, what we should have done, which a lot of other people have done, is just cut straight across there, and we would have saved a bit of time. But you can see this detour around the detour is all the result of very, very poor information management and communications with the end users of this principal shared path. So let's do a ride through this shambles and have a look at why we ended up in so much trouble. We've got a fence here. Yep, there's good signage. That's all fine. There's no map though. Absolutely nothing. Just says path closed. pedestrian sign, and that's it. So we came off here, and although there was a bit of signage further up on the left, it was so far up we thought we were supposed to be on this path, but this is a path to absolutely nowhere. It goes to a playground, and we had to go cross country to get back onto the road. Again, poor, or just a lack of signage. I mean, you might think it's sensible to go on the road, but often when you see a path like that, you think, well, maybe we should be on the path instead. Now, coming up here, going into the sun, there was a pedestrian right turn sign there, but that was the only one I could see. There was more signage going in the other direction for drivers, but that was the last detour sign you're going to see for quite some time. So as we go along here, I just couldn't see any intermediate signage to let us know we were going in the right direction. Over on the right-hand side there was a sign, except you had to be looking over on the right to see it. I would have thought they'd have something on the left-hand side of the road as well with an arrow pointing in this direction. Again, no intermediate signage as we come along here to say we're going the right direction. We've got one pedestrian sign pointing us to the left. We're out on the road. And then again, over on the right-hand side of the road, there was a pedestrian turn right here. So they've really gone skimpy on the signage, that's for sure. No intermediate signage along here. You know, this is a fairly lengthy detour. And then we get to here. This is where it all went wrong. Just no signage whatsoever. If signage had been put up, has anyone actually been checking it? Because certainly, if you have a look at the video, you can't see any. And I've had a good look at the video, and I was unable to find any signage. Now, look, there is a sign there that we're going to have a look at in a minute. Obviously it had its back to us. We came up to the lights and we were having a discussion about where we were supposed to be going here. And yeah, there's a roadwork sign and there's a fence where they could have put up a map and they could have had some signage along here. Absolutely nothing. Now you can see there's a sign there edge onto us, but that's of absolutely zero use. So we thought, no, we've got to go back this way. And you might have noticed that sign back there was actually pointing us in this direction, which is why we went this way up to these traffic lights, crossed when we had a green light, and then there was from here zero signage. And we're thinking, like, are we in the right location? Should we be down here? This is pretty bizarre. You know, there's no detour, so signage at all. Let's try and get back to the freeway and see where it takes us. And because at least if we get to the freeway, we might be able to figure out something. So we get down here again, more roadworks because the path is blocked off again at this point. Nice big fence here, no maps, no signage, no nothing, just a fence, and nope, you can't go down there or up there. So back on the path we go, and we ended up coming into Warwick station, and I've got to say, whoever designed this was very, very car-centric. Huge amount of space allocated to vehicles, very little footpath space allocated to pedestrians, etc. And eventually we got back up here and we thought, yep, from here we can get back on the path and it's all good. But, why not put together a map like this? Just a single map showing the whole thing. Who designed the signage plan for that? Because obviously there was not enough signage out there to cover the route properly. And who's been inspecting the signage? Because clearly all the signage along Warwick Road, if there was any there in the first place, it seems to have gone walkabout. Now in part two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride south to north through this and check the signage going in that direction. And then I'll turn around and come back and I'll have a closer look at the signage. And I'll try and do this before Friday when it all shuts down. So stay tuned for that. But as you can see, there's clearly issues with communicating this detour to the users of the principal shared path, i.e. the cyclists.